NetSuite Release Preview 2022.1 Release Preview Guide. Now, I suggest you download this guide. It is going to, and you'll see it right here on your new release portlet. Alright, so let's click there and have a look at this guide. This new release will be released in mid-April, right? And so we're in the beginning of February. So let's say about 10 weeks, which is plenty of time, but you most certainly do not want to leave this until the very last moment. Depending on your account, of course, if you have a lot of customizations and a complicated account, the earlier you start this, the better. If you have a new account with very little customizations, you can maybe consider giving yourself less time and kind of scanning over it, right? But ideally you want to get into the detail here. All right, so here are our headings, and I'm gonna just run through some of this here. All right, performance in your release preview account is not always the same as your production account. You can expect the first few times you complete a process task, such as entering a sales order, performance will be a bit slow. You should experience faster performance as you repeat the process or task through several iterations or testing. Release preview is intended for testing the functionality of the new features, not as a performance measurement tool for the new version. The tests performed in release preview are not transferred to your production account, right? So it's just like a sandbox. Whatever you do in this release preview account is going to stay there. It will not be copied to your production. Right, test plan template available for download. Download the release preview test plan template to create a test plan for each of your business workflows. The Microsoft Excel worksheet includes the testing matrix, workflow worksheets, and examples. After you have downloaded the file, modify it to suit your testing needs. Right, so let's download this test plan and have a quick look at it. Alright, so here you can see this first sheet here is your matrix, where you're going to basically list all the tests you're going to do. Then you'll see here's an example, quite detailed example. So you can imagine if you have a large number of processes and transactions that are customized and that you want to test, you're going to have to fill in essentially each one of these for each, right? This is just for sales orders. So this can be a very complex, time-consuming task, right? And there is workflow for your workflows that you can put in here. The important thing is to download this, maybe get a testing committee, or I don't know what kind of body you have to oversee NetSuite in your organization, but the sooner you start on this, the better. Alright, so let's go back to the preview, the guide. Right, so we've downloaded the test plan. Overview of release preview. Release preview is a temporary and isolated test account that is running the new version of NetSuite software. Right, so it's not running the same software as your production account. That is still in 2021.2. Release preview access ends and all tasks performed on that account are deleted on the date your production account is upgraded to the new release, which at the moment is plus minus mid-April, and 3 weeks from the date of the actual release you will be notified. This date is listed on your new release portlet. The release preview account enables you to become familiar with the new features in an upcoming release. Now there's a large number of features, and some or all might apply to you. You have to go and look at the detail. You can verify that your existing business workflows function as expected before your production account is upgraded to the new release preview. Really important, you don't want to get to that day and only then find issues. You can use the release preview account to test and ensure your NetSuite account and any associated applications are not dependent on a specific data center to store data. You can evaluate your applications for any data center specific identifiers and replace them with data center agnostic information. The goal is to provide a smooth and seamless transition to a new release. Really key, right? The last thing you want is a not smooth transition. By making this information available and providing other needed guidance, you avoid any major problems or surprises when you go live with the new version, right? Requesting a release account. Now you'll see I've already made a video earlier today that you'll see also on my YouTube channel, where I show how to apply for, how to opt in to get this release preview. Since I made the video this morning about opting into the release preview account, I have received this email, right? So I can now go and access that account. So that happened probably in an hour or a couple of hours. It happened pretty quickly. All right. Right. So let's go back there. Release preview URLs. Not very important. You'll see that in your drop down. Preparing for testing. Download the release preview test plan template to create a test plan for each of your business. We've discussed that. We've downloaded this. As you prepare for testing and release preview, make a note of the various scheduled events that run in your production account. These scheduled events should be disabled before the production account is upgraded to the new release and enabled after the upgrade is complete. Right, so you can see there, this is important. Refer to the following for more information about the new features in this release, so that if you have time to review new or change functionality well before the release. Right, so review the sneak peek available. I've made a video, you'll find that on my YouTube channel. I will be making more detailed videos around the release notes about the specific functionality that has changed. To prepare for testing and release preview, review the following sections: access your release preview, functionality available for testing. Right, so there's some things that you cannot actually test, so we'll get to that in a moment. Data that is not copied, I'll get to that in a moment. How to report release previews, you essentially go to support, test business workflows, right? So access your release preview. So here you can see, right, it's going to show you here, and there you can see it says the release preview, or it'll have an RP. Okay, to give access to a user, same as you do in any other account, you go on employees and you give access and you give that person the role that they need to do the testing with. Right, if you want to give access to multiple users, you can import them via CSV. Right, if you want to remove their access, you take away the access on their employee record. Right, accessing from the new release portlet, not important, not important. Right, functionality available for testing. The following tables describe functionality available for testing and release preview. Only modules that you have purchased and enabled in your production account are available in your release preview. Be sure you understand the limitations of the release preview account. No actions taken in the notes column, like there for example, indicates the feature is available, but no email is sent, no campaigns are executed, and no payments are processed. Right, so features available for testing. I'm not going to read every one of them. Custom records, talks about sensitive fields. Campaign, just mention campaigns above. Right, memorize transactions, reports. Right, so actually, you know, yeah, there's most of it is available. SOAP, website, two-factor. Now here, features are available for limited testing. Right, so you're going to only be able to do limit testing on these: alternative payment, credit card processing, electronic funds transfer, PayPal, schedule, suite scripts, UPS. Then features not available for testing: fax, online bill pay, Outlook, payroll. Then So just to cap that off, there's 3 levels. There's what you can test, what you can test to some extent, the limited testing, and then you have what you cannot test at all, right? Data that is not copied from your production release, domain keys, website and web stores, customer center roles, SAML configuration, system notes and records. That is actually quite a pain. That makes it really hard to follow if you want to look at real detail. Suite flow, history logs will not be there, token-based authentication, right? You'll have to create these tokens again. Settings, preferences for release preview email, right? That is the same settings you get when you set up any other email preferences. Here you can see those preferences, right? Whether you want to set it to logged in user, not send emails. Sorry, that's the release preview. Those are your options. They're similar to the sandbox options, right? Right, so how to report release preview issues. Report any issues you're encountering during testing by calling NetSuite customer support or by submitting a case online. Right, if you don't know, there's the numbers. If you don't know how to submit a case online, you go to Suite Answer, Support, Contact Support Online, and there you put in all details and you essentially create a ticket. Recommended test plan, we've downloaded that. Here are all the details. The following sections provide a plan for thoroughly testing your account in release preview. Right, so essentially you should have a heading for each of these in your plan. You may or may not use them, but if you create that plan now once, and it's a good plan, you can use that plan twice a year. You don't have to go through all this pain again. Right, test your workflows, test anything that's custom, reports, queries, forms. Right, test other customizations, test Suite script, installed bundles, web store, Suite analytics, and that is that. So as you can see, there's quite a lot there, and in my next videos around the actual functionality update, you'll see there's a lot there, so best to get cracking. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my videos.